Milady, welcome to Necessary Chaos, and I want to talk about La Machine. There was something going on this past week. It started on Thursday, ran till Sunday, and it was an event called La Machine. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss the two videos I already posted. I am going to talk about what the event actually was, my experience with me and my family at the event. I am also going to show some footage of the final climatic battle between the two machines. And I'm going to narrate the story, tell the story of why and how all of this is going down. Okay, so that way, if you don't want to listen to me ramble about my experience, you just want to see the climatic battle, what I caught of it, you can skip ahead. If you just want to hear the story of La Machine and the two beings that were part of it, you can skip ahead to that. But so what happened was Thursday, there was a gigantic spider, Kumo. She is a great big mechanical spider. And then we have Long Ma, which he is a dragon. Yes, Kumo is a girl, the spider is a girl, Long Ma is a boy. The dragon is a boy, the spider is a girl. So, on Thursday, they had Kumo up on Notre Dame Cathedral, the big church. It's in one of the videos, my first video I posted, which was Long Ma, the dragon. We spent the day walking along and ahead of Long Ma. We got sprayed with water 3 times. We were there when Long Ma awoke, and Long Ma wanders over to Kumo. And this is at the Gallery Museum, where all the artwork is. And these are 2 pieces of artwork. They are done by a theater group, an art group, and they are made of wood and steel. Kumo and Long Ma, and they are a performance. This is actually a performance that occurs on the streets, and they came from France. They came over by ship, were reassembled. And, excuse me, and they were part of Canada's 150th celebration. This is the first time these 2 things have ever been in North America. If you want to know how big they are, I put the scale, their sizes, on Long Ma's video. If you go down at the bottom of the description, I put its actual scale, its size and weight. And the same thing on the video I posted with Kumo. And I did post, like I said, the first day we went. And it was pretty impressive. We went to the museum. We watched Long Ma wake up. Like I said, Thursday they started with Kumo on Notre Dame Cathedral. She was actually up on the church and came down. We didn't get any footage of that. We weren't there the first day. We went there on Friday, though, to the Gallery Museum, and we watched Long Ma wake up. And I have footage of Long Ma waking up, and she comes right above our heads and soaks us with water. And then she walks past Notre Dame Cathedral over to Kumo and awakens Kumo, and they have a bit of a battle. And when I describe the story, you'll understand why they're battling. But each one of these interactions is playing out a story. The reason Kumo was here and Long Ma was here, it's all part of a big story, part of a big theatrical event, basically, in the city. So then we followed Long Ma through the city to the City Hall, City Hall. And then Long Ma went back to sleep at City Hall, and we also filmed that. I filmed Long Ma going back to sleep on Friday. Now, we wanted to make it back down Friday, but because of the crowd, because of the traffic and everything else, we didn't make it in time. But Long Ma apparently walked across the bridge and awoke Kumo, who was sleeping at the Shaw Center, and they had a battle on the bridge above people, and that would have been pretty amazing to see. So if you were lucky enough to see that, you know, good for you, but we missed that. So we didn't go and see anything Saturday. But apparently on Saturday, Long Ma got back his wings. That's right, when we first filmed Long Ma no wings, but on Saturday he reclaimed his wings. And that's part of the story as well. So then we went back down on Sunday, and on Sunday they were outside of the Supreme Court of Canada. They were outside of that building sleeping. Long Ma was sleeping within some trees, and Kumo was off to the side. And on that day, we watched Kumo awaken, and we followed Kumo and Kumo's theme music, which Kumo's theme music is very interesting because her theme music is an orchestra that are on their own little vehicles that way up in the sky playing live music, playing Kumo's theme music as she walks through the streets. They trail behind her playing her music. So this time we followed Kumo through the streets, and there was a massive, massive crowd of people. You'll see if you watch the video of Kumo how many people throughout downtown Ottawa. Downtown Ottawa is not a small place. It is a large place, and you may get a sense of that through the video as well. But she traveled to the War Museum. And just outside the War Museum, Long Ma catches up to her. Long Ma at this point now has his wings, and he is breathing fire at this point. They once again have an interaction. Kumo is still the winner. She's still the champion. Long Ma runs away with his tail between his legs, and Kumo goes back to sleep under snow or bubbles. Or I'm pretty certain it was snow, but my wife said it was bubbles. I don't know for sure what was coming out of the thing that puts Kumo to sleep. And then that was that for the day. Except that night was the grand finale. That was when Kumo and Long Ma were going to have their throwdown, drag him out, no holds barred, last confrontation, so that Long Ma could reclaim his temple and ascend back to the 9th level of heaven. That's all part of the story, though. So basically, we had an option: leave, go back home, whatever, or stay in downtown. And because of the amount of people, and because we wanted to make sure we were in a good spot to see, we decided to stay in downtown. Unfortunately, that meant I couldn't recharge my camera. And the lesson I learned this time is make sure I take my charger with me everywhere I go with my camera. And I am definitely purchasing a second battery, because I got the final fight. But we had the dragon. Long Ma was right above our heads. Right above our heads. And he spewed this 5-foot pillar of fire. You could feel the heat coming off of this thing. And then he came back down, opened his mouth. His mouth was all lit up and glowy and whatnot. And like I told my wife, that's the freaking shot of my life, probably. Probably the best shot I'm ever going to have of anything. And my camera was dead at this point. I didn't catch the final stuff. I didn't catch Long Ma lighting the pillars on fire and Kumo backing away. And like I said, Kumo going off into the mist. And Long Ma prancing around because he was the winner and roaring his fire, and then he went underneath the same, snow or bubbles that blow on Kumo. Long Ma went under that, and he rears up and spreads his wings, and they play some nice melodic music with a choir. And then Long Ma goes to sleep. Kumo comes back into the scene. He goes to sleep, and then that was the end of La Machine. And it was pretty interesting. I still got the beginning of the fight. I got some footage of the orchestra practicing. And when they were practicing, a rainbow came right above their heads. So that was pretty symbolic, in my opinion. It was pretty neat. And there were over 300,000 people to see this final confrontation between Long Ma and Kumo. They're estimating there were more people at this event than there were at Canada's 150th on the 1st of July up on Parliament Hill. Now, I guarantee you there were more people in downtown on Canada Day than there were at this event. But in one location, there were far more people at this location than there were at Parliament Hill on Canada Day. And so it was a huge success. A lot of people were there. If you want to see the final battle, I guarantee you there is footage, probably tons and tons of footage people have posted on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere else. Twitter, probably everywhere. So if you want to see the final battle, look it up. And so now I want to talk about let's get into the story that brought these two creatures here. Okay, so this is the story that brings forth La Machine to Ottawa, Ontario, and explains why these two beings are here, why they're interacting the way they are, and what the plot is, what the point of them being here is. And I wanted to post this sooner than later while things are still relevant. Like I said, the last day was Sunday and we're already on Tuesday. So in my opinion, this is already pretty late. So the illustrations aren't very well done. I just did them sort of a draw my life-esque style on a dry erase board. So they're not highly detailed, they're not that great, so I apologize for that. But here we go. So, in the ninth level of heaven, there is a temple, and it is home to a cosmic being which is half horse, half dragon, by the name of Long Ma. And he looks over humanity's well-being and observes them from the ninth level of heaven. And he's at peace, and he's good with, his life and all things that are going on. And, just chilling in his temple. Well, there's an evil entity, an evil spirit, an evil being that desires Long Ma's temple. And this being's name is Kumo. So Kumo, she takes upon the form of a spider. So Kumo is not actually a spider. She merely assumed the form of a giant spider. And she creeps into Long Ma's temple while Long Ma is off guard. And she proceeds to engage in battle with Long Ma, in which point Long Ma's wings are destroyed. Long Ma's wings are burned and destroyed, and I only assume that Long Ma then falls from the ninth level of heaven, because next thing we know, Kumo takes the temple and whisks it away to the land of spiders, which is, for the sake of this story, Ottawa, Ontario. And we can also assume that these events happened a long, long time ago, since until now no one has seen Kumo. So what happens is Long Ma spends however long searching the seven seas for his temple, so he can regain his power, so he can ascend back to the ninth level of heaven and go back to things like they used to be. But he has no idea where Kumo and his temple have gone. No idea, so he is merely searching the seven seas endlessly to find any trace, any sign of his temple or this being that stole the temple from him. But then something interesting happens in Ottawa, Ontario. They begin excavation on their new metro system, their new transit system. And in that process, part of this transit system will go underground. And because of that, they begin to excavate the ground. They begin to dig up things. And while digging up things, they disturb Kumo. And Kumo is then forced to come out from hiding. They also relocate the temple. The transit and the construction people in Ottawa relocate the temple. So now Kumo is upset, and Kumo is also weakened by being disrupted from her slumber and removed from the temple. So now Long Ma can tell where she is. He gets a vision. He senses that Kumo is awakened. Kumo is around. His temple is around. So that means he takes a V-line to Ottawa, Ontario to confront Kumo and get back his temple. But we have two things going here. Long Ma is very weak because he has been from his temple for so long. But Kumo is now weakened because she has been awakened and away from the temple as well. So throughout the time, they keep fighting. They keep battling, with Long Ma gaining strength and Kumo losing hers, which leads to Long Ma regaining his wings, regaining his fire, and at the end of the battle, Long Ma reclaims his temple, since Long Ma is the only one that can fully restore it to its true potential. And then Long Ma reclaims his temple and ascends back to the ninth level of heaven, where he can continue to observe and watch over humanity. And that is the story behind La Machine. That's basically the story from beginning to end. So Long Ma was victorious, he returned home. Or we assume he ascended home with his temple, back to the ninth level of heaven. So there you go, that's the story of La Machine. that's when my camera died. Right there, okay? He's coming in. Now what happens next is Kumo keeps backing off. There were pillars you've probably seen when I was filming the orchestra. You might have seen those pillars. And what happens is Kumo puts his foot on the one pillar and Long Ma breathes flames at it and it ignites. And then Kumo, of course, rears back and steps back more. And there's 2 more pillars that he ignites. And by the time Long Ma ignites those last 2 pillars, Kumo has shrunk down in size. He's almost cowering. And then he backs off and they start up fog machines, whatever the big mist of fog covers. You can't even make out Kumo anymore. And then Long Ma is victorious. The music changes and then he, you know, walks across the audience, looking out into the audience and blowing a flame. And then he goes back under the same machine that put Kumo to sleep. The crane that looks like a spider web almost, and sprays all the stuff, and it sprays stuff all over Long Ma for a while, and he rears up and spreads his wings and stuff, and it's all very symbolic and very, very mellow. You know, there's no big roars anymore. It's him moving nice and gently, and nice mellow music being played, and then he lulls down, folds up his wings, and goes back to sleep. The end. But so I didn't get all of that. I didn't get the very end. Probably, in my opinion, the best stuff of the night I didn't get. But you can definitely tell if you watch the first video when we're following Long Ma and he has no wings and he's just cooing and making really low grumbles and things like that. But that last night, he is roaring. I mean, even when he was at the back of the crowd and let out roars, you could feel it vibrating your chest. This was definitely not the same dragon, attitude-wise, from Friday to Sunday night. It was a dragon on a mission. And like I said, it's not actually a dragon, it's half dragon, half horse. So, and that's part of the story too. He's a cosmic being, half dragon, half horse. And he has come to fight an evil spirit, an evil entity that has taken the form of a spider. So it's not actually a spider, and it's a half dragon, half horse, and they're going at it. But Long Ma won. He will probably ascend back to the 9th level of heaven and go back to business as usual. So I hope you enjoyed the videos. At the end of this, though, I do have a bit of bonus footage there. Footage? I said footage. Bonus footage of a biplane that kept flying around those 4 days. It looks like the Red Baron is black and red flying around. And I got some decent footage of that. And I got some footage of the motorcycle officers dismounting their bikes. So I'm going to throw that at the end here. And there was a drone. I don't know if it was filming or just watching the final fight, but we kept seeing this great big drone. This wasn't like a backyard enthusiast drone. This was like an industrial looking drone. It was big. It would have been the size of a small car almost. I mean, it was massive. But unfortunately my camera was about to die, so I didn't want to risk filming any of that. But it kept watching the fight too. I don't know what was going on. You could hear it. It was way off there. You couldn't make out any details on it. But you could definitely tell it was a drone, and it was loud enough that, you know, you could notice it even over the crowd and stuff. So I don't know who had it. I wanted to say it was a news crew or something, but might have been some security or something like that because of the number of people there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and take it easy.
Look at that. Look how good you can see that plane. I didn't even see the propeller.
Walk right to the grounds. Extend. Extend. Right. Over. Right side. That. Out to the 15. Off. Step away.